I feel like there's something special to me about psychological fiction, media which doesn't just take you through the story itself, but also takes you through the story of the characters and their emotional states. However, no other pieces of psychological fiction jump out to me as much as Neon Genesis Evangelion does. So what's it about? Well, big fighting robots, kind of. The anime is set 15 years after a cataclysmic event called the Second Impact. We follow a teen boy named Shinji Ikari, who is called by his father, Gendo, to pilot one of his paramilitary force, Nerve's biomachines, also known as Evas. His job is to help defeat these monsters called angels and basically help save the world. The series itself greatly delves into Freudian and Jungian concepts such as self-concept and Freud's psychosexual stages. For this project, I mainly wanted to analyze the last 2 episodes of the series, as they make a major change from the previous episode, so I guess that's your spoiler warning. Of course, the other episodes cover many psychological concepts, but I think the final 2 will be the best to analyze for this project, along with other moments from previous episodes and concepts leading up to this point that I will need to cover. To fill you in, these last 2 episodes take place after the final angel, posing as a boy named Kaoru, is killed. Shinji's father then starts an event known as the Human Instrumentality Project, which is a forced evolution of the entire human race where everyone's souls become merged together to overcome loneliness and alienation. Throughout the episode, we look through the psyche of characters in the show, primarily focusing on Shinji and his interactions with others. These episodes in particular have themes heavily surrounding identity, introspection, self-concept, self-actualization, along with some other Freudian and Jungian theoretical concepts. Episode 25, our first episode, primarily focuses on following the introspections, or examination of one's own mental processes, of the show's main characters. The episode starts with Shinji grieving the loss of Kaoru, who he was forced to kill in order to prevent a possible disaster. Grief is defined as the anguish one experiences after a significant loss, and we can see it in Shinji as he is hunched in his chair as text representing his inner monologue flashes on the screen.
Kaoru was an angel! He wasn't human! He was an angel, an enemy!
We cut to a shot of Shinji talking about the incident with a woman named Misato, who kind of serves as his mother figure, I guess? She ends up taking care of him throughout most of the show, as his father isn't able to. Before cutting to Shinji's internal dialogue about how he was abandoned by his father and how he hates him, I think now is a good time to mention Shinji kinda has an unresolved Oedipus complex, which is a Freudian theory that a boy has sexual desires for his mother and has hatred for his father. When I said the series delves into Freudian psychology, I meant it. Interestingly, later in the episode, it can be said that Misato has a bit of an unresolved Electra complex, the feminine equivalent of an Oedipus complex, as she searches for fatherly aspects in her lover, Ryuji, and resents her mother for having attachment issues to her father. During Misato's introspection, we also see her id, a component of Freudian personality theory which contains urges and impulses, as she states,
I hate it all. I'm tired. I'm tired of staying clean and pretty. I'm tired of the me pretending to be clean and pretty. So tired. I want to be soiled. I want to see myself dirty.
The 2 other characters we see introspection from are Rei and Asuka, Shinji's fellow friends and pilots. I personally find Rei's introspection interesting to watch, as it focuses primarily on her self-concept, or her idea about herself constructed from her own beliefs about herself as well as beliefs from others.
I took on the shape of who I am now through interacting with others.
What is very interesting about Rei is that she is not naturally human, rather a partial clone of Shinji's dead mother that was created by his father. She holds a conversation with other clones of herself about who she is and how she can form this self-concept. Asuka's introspection is more so about her childhood and how these traumas have caused her to want to be completely self-dependent. At the end of episode 25, we cut to a scene of these characters in a sort of auditorium to discuss with Shinji about reality. We learn about Shinji's Freudian death drive, a Freudian theory for which one wishes somewhat of a return to nothingness, which may manifest in self-destructive behavior, which manifests in Shinji as he wishes to run away and live in a completely free world only for himself. The episode also ends on a note about locus of control, which is the degree that people believe that they themselves have control over their lives. Shinji has somewhat of an external locus of control, believing in a world where everything is decided for him, while the rest of the show's cast, in this episode at least, have an internal locus of control, telling him that you make your own decisions in life and they will affect you accordingly.
It's a world where everything's all decided for me, right?
No, it isn't. It's a world you decide.
It's a world where your heart decides the way that things will be.
Episode 26 primarily focuses on Shinji's introspection and rise to self-actualization, or his realization or fulfillment of his potential as a person. Shinji is afraid about piloting the Eva and wants to run away from his responsibilities. Shinji, however, has learned that it would hurt him more to run away from his problems rather than facing them head on.
You won't run away because you feel if you do, it will only bring more pain.
You've felt that pain before when you've run away. That is why you don't want to run away.
We've seen that Shinji has little self-esteem or confidence in his abilities. This lack of self-esteem causes him to hurt himself and believe his life is worth little. We also learn about Shinji's people-pleasing tendencies and how he follows the orders of others to avoid conflict. Shinji wants to have others find a sense of value in him before he could be happy as well. I also really love, as we delve deeper into Shinji's psyche, the art style of this episode becomes more and more simple. As Shinji becomes closer to self-discovery, the art style shifts to shots illustrated with pen and marker. Shinji ends up in a world of his own with zero restraints and nobody else, and learns that in a world of purely himself, he has no defined self-image. Despite Shinji's wishes for another world without anyone else, he realizes that without others, he is unable to get a grasp on his self-concept and identity, as self-concept is largely a reflection of others' reactions towards that person.
Yes, you learn your shape by looking and comparing to the shapes of others.
You envision yourself by looking at the walls that separate yourself from others. You cannot see yourself unless there are others with you.
I can only be me when others are with me. One person will always be just one person, no matter what. The entire world would only be me!
At the end of the episode, figures of Shinji's friends appear to discuss how we as humans each hold our own truth, and how the opinions of others can mold how we see ourselves, but should not dampen who we are as people. Shinji, once maintaining a dislike of himself, learns that even with negative traits, he can learn to love himself and his existence. The auditorium that Shinji sits in shatters to reveal an ocean-like surface. Figures of everyone circle him and congratulate him on this revelation. This symbolizes Shinji reaching self-actualization and reaching his full potential. So, despite me basically spoiling the entire thing, I hope that I've been able to convince someone to check out Evangelion. Of course, there is a lot more going on during the middle of these two episodes in the form of a movie called The End of Evangelion, which was made as a response to people calling this ending bad, but this is my Psych final, so I'm not going to go into that. Long story short, giant robot, but much to think about. You should watch. So that's it. I spent like 7 minutes rambling about Evangelion for my Psych final. I'm gonna have to show this to the whole class, and it's gonna be really, like, embarrassing to do. You watch anime, you're a nerd. I was like, I'm gonna be 30 kids in this class, and they're gonna hear Misato talking about wanting to be dirty, and somebody's gonna laugh, and it's gonna be sad. Oh, my teacher likes it. I think it's good. I don't know. I hope you liked it. I don't know why I wanted to put this on my second channel. I thought it'd be funny. You know, you should sub to my main channel. If you're here not from my main channel, I play Apex. I play video games on my main channel. I make videos about video games, which you should sub to my main channel because I think I'm pretty entertaining and funny. You know, at times I could be a little bit silly. Like, you know, what was Freud cooking when he was thinking about Oedipus complexes and penis envy and shit like that? That's crazy. I want whatever that man was smoking. That man was smoking the best shit I've ever seen in my life. God, I need that so bad.